Welcome to Unleash Your Audacious Confidence on Win-Win Women TV. This show is all about sharing the tips, tools, and techniques that will allow you to step boldly in the direction of your dreams despite your feelings, fears, or past failures. To imagine what's possible for yourself and live the life you deserve. Well, hello, and welcome to this episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence here on Win-Win Women TV. I'm your host, Alicia Couri, and I have so much to share with you today about achieving your goals. Turning your thoughts into results. But before I jump in on that's our topic, I just want to welcome you to the show. And also to invite you to check out Win-Win Women. Go to winwinwomen.com and check out all the amazing things that they have and all the other show hosts that are there. I also want to encourage you to connect with me on Alicia 360 because I have a TED Talk coming out, a TEDx coming up soon. And I want to make sure that you get that talk when it goes live because I'm really excited about doing it. I actually I volunteered at a TEDx event this past week, and it was just amazing. So I want to make sure that you have the benefit of checking out the TEDx when I do it, TEDx Miramar. But go connect with me. So today we're talking about achieving your goals, achieving results. Like, how do you actually activate those thoughts to achieving results for yourself? And I like to say that you're taking action, right? How do we take action? Activating conscious thoughts into outcomes now. That's my acronym for taking action, activating conscious thoughts into results, right? Into something tangible. So we have to activate our conscious thoughts. We have to activate them because only in the consciousness can we make decisions. Are we at choice? So we have to really dig into those things that really hold us back, that we're in resistance around if it's not serving us. So resistance can be something that's very powerful to help propel you forward or help lift you when used correctly. But resistances, when you're not using them as a strength, can actually hold you back. So things like blind spots, bad habits or habits that aren't productive for you, different paradigms or beliefs, some limiting beliefs that we have. So we have to be able to recognize them and take them out of our subconscious and actually bring them into the conscious mind where we can see them. So they're no longer blind spots. They're no longer limiting us, and we can take action on those things. And that's one of the biggest opportunities for us to overcome some of these limiting beliefs and some of these blind spots that hold us back, some of the things that we're resisting. It's about bringing it into our consciousness. And as a child, when I was a child, because, I give a lot of examples of myself for myself. As a child, I was speaking to some folks recently about this. The way I grew up and how I grew up, believing the things I believed about myself that just were not true. And I know there's so many people, probably 99% of people grew up believing something about themselves that's not true. And it's developed a paradigm. A paradigm is a belief. A paradigm is really, it's a pattern of beliefs that's built up over time. And our brain likes to look for evidence of what's real, what's true. So if we have a belief about something, our brain will go and find evidence to continue to confirm that with us. When I was growing up, like I was saying, when I was growing up, I had a lot of evidence that I was stupid. I had a lot of evidence. I had people were telling me that, teachers were telling me that, parents were telling me that, siblings had told me that. So I had a lot of evidence. My grades were telling me that. I didn't think I was completely dumb. Like I used to say, well, I got street smarts. I don't have book smarts, but I got street smarts. That's the way I rationalized it. And that's the way I continued to live, but still believing that there were things I could not do, that I couldn't be successful with because I was quote unquote stupid or dumb or couldn't learn. And so that paradigm, that belief kind of attached itself to me and created blind spots, created bad habits. So I wouldn't read books because, well, what's the point? I'm dumb, right? I'm already stupid. So what's the point in reading books? So it created these bad habits because I had a wrong belief that was limiting me, and it created bad habits for myself. So I couldn't achieve the goals that I set out, that I had in my dreams. I couldn't achieve those things because of, again, limiting beliefs, bad habits, blind spots, and just a wrong paradigm. So I want to help give you some, just maybe a couple tips or a couple tools to overcome that so that you're not staying there. Because the worst thing that you could do is stay there in that situation. All right. So I want to talk about the three parts of the mind first, and then go really deeper into the conative mind, because that's an area that a lot of people still don't have a lot of awareness about. And it's a completely subconscious part of the way our brain operates. So when we're able to pull that information out from the subconscious into the conscious, then we can really operate in it more effectively and more powerfully. So first tip I want to give you is start really recognizing, what do I believe? Like, ask yourself, you do something, it's like, what do I believe about that? What do I really believe about this? You say something to yourself, like in your inner voice that's negative, and you just stop yourself and say, what do I really believe about that? Is that true? Is that really true? Is that me? Am I stupid? No, I don't think so. So what am I then? If I'm not stupid, what am I? Maybe I haven't learned something. Well, how can I learn it? Okay, I can apply myself to learn it. All right. How do I apply myself? Those are the steps we have to like start asking ourselves these questions, and not just leave it as, well, you're stupid. Yeah, I guess so. I'm stupid. And then you just don't break through anything. We're here to help you break through, right? The name of the show is Unleash Your Audacious Confidence. It's about breaking through the things that are stopping you from stepping into your most powerful and confident self. So it's about recognizing the thoughts and the things that you're saying to yourself that are not serving you. They're not taking you to the next level. So start questioning them. What do you really believe about them, and why? And is that true or not? So when you start doing that, we want to understand how our brain is wired for success. How is our brain really put together for our success? Not our neighbor's success, not our kids' success, not our siblings' success, my success. How is my brain wired for me to be successful? Because that's the only thing that you can control. Your own, how your brain is wired for your success, how your thoughts are wired for your success. So that you're not relying on someone else, number one, and because they're not going to either hold you back or take you to the next level. Don't rely on them to take you to the next level. And don't allow them to keep holding you back. Okay. So let's talk about the conative mind for a second. So there are three different parts of the mind. And you've probably heard me say this. If you've been listening to me at all, you've heard me say this a time or two before. But there are these three different parts of the mind. You have your cognitive part, which is your thinking mind, how you think, how you process your knowledge that you've gained over time, your experiences, your IQ. So that's in the cognitive part of your mind. And then we have the affective. That's your emotional mind. That's your feelings. That's your motivations, your drive. That's in your affect. That's your desires for something. So your affect is a very powerful part of the mind. In fact, it's so powerful it can override everything else that's a part of your brain. Your affect can override your conative, it can override your cognitive. You can just run on adrenaline, run on desire, run on motivation, right? Run on your feelings. And a lot of people do. And it's not always the best thing if it's not positive feelings. They can run on negative feelings and do all kinds of destructive things. You ever see when someone is like totally destroying a car and setting it on fire? That's running on a negative emotion. That's running on your affect. That's a negative emotion. You've overridden your cognitive thought process of what am I doing? What is happening here? What are all the consequences to me of doing this? You tend to just run on that emotion, and that's dangerous if it's pointed in a negative direction. So we don't want to override our thinking mind with our emotions. Don't let your emotions override your thinking. But then there's this conative part of your mind, and the conative piece is the doing. How do I actually take action, problem solve, and strive? How do I take the thoughts that I have and actually activate them into action? Take action on them. That's what your conative is meant to take action on those thoughts and those emotions. So there's a particular way each one of us is designed to take action. And within that design is a very powerful strength. It's our unique abilities. And our conative mind, that's where our subconscious commitments, our mental energy, our drive, that resides in that conative mind, how we take action. And so when looking at having a goal, having a vision, having a plan, whatever it is that you have, and then you want to look down the road at this is what I want to accomplish. So this is the plan, and this is what I want to accomplish. Well, to get from here to here, what do I need to do? We should do it backwards because the screen is flipped. What do I need to do to get from point A to point B? And the conative part of your mind plays a very significant role in getting from point A to point B. So we need to understand how to harness those innate strengths. The work that I do with organizations, especially around hiring, like if a company has a goal to hire someone for a particular role, well, one of the things that they need to be aware of is, well, what do we need? What does success look like in this role? What do they need to do every day in this role to be successful? And when you can really articulate what success looks like in that role, then we are able to, go back and find the person that's going to be successful based on what needs to be done in that role to be successful by understanding their conative mind and understanding their behavioral type. So it's very important when you're hiring to understand what your goals are, what needs to be done, what success looks like, and what are the activities or the actions or the tasks that need to be done to complete that for success. And that's the person you're looking for. You're looking for someone whose brain is wired to naturally achieve these things without without having to really even think about it. This is just naturally how their brain works. So you put them in a situation like that, and success is almost guaranteed. I say almost guaranteed because sometimes there are certain beliefs. Remember, I started this talking about blind spots, limiting beliefs, paradigms, and bad habits. There may be some of those things that have to change, but when you connect them to their subconscious commitments in the conative mind, they are going to do what it is you need them to do every single time. Recently I did, so I'm Colby certified, which is a conative assessment. And recently they had their strengths week, and I did a project with some youth, I think they were from middle school. So that's like 12, 13 years old, up to high school, through high school around 17, 18 years old. And I did a project with them where we assessed their strengths, their conative strengths. I gave them their report, and then we did a workshop around it. Well, one of the parents came back to me recently and said that their son, who was at the workshop, she was also at the workshop, came to her and said, I don't think these results are correct. I don't think this is right about me. And just before that, her husband, her father, her son's stepdad, had asked him to fix something. And he went through the exact process that I was sharing with them at the workshop, that this is exactly how he solves problems. And she said to him, when you fixed the Xbox, I think it was an Xbox or PlayStation or something, you did exactly the same thing. Didn't you do this, and then you did this, and then you did this? And she spoke about the sequences of things that he did to solve that problem that was based on the report that I had given them and that I had shared during the workshop. And he said, oh, I thought that was just for school. And she's like, no, it's for your life. It's for how you understand how your brain operates in life. And she's like, I would not have known to share that with him. I would not have known to share his strengths with him in that way, to help him connect to it, for him to see that he has like these gifts and these talents and these abilities to do something that the rest of us don't have in the same way. And that made him feel really good about himself. That actually built his confidence. And she came in because she's like, I have to tell you, I have to tell you. And if you didn't share this with us a week ago, I would have never known to point that out to him so that he would feel good about what he did and how he did it. And so understanding the conative part of your mind, I mean, he solved a problem that nobody else in the household could solve. Nobody else figured out how to do it. He figured it out because of the way his brain was wired to work. He used his natural abilities, his unique abilities, to solve the problem. Now, I think that when teams understand these things about each other, they can break through so many things and achieve goals so much faster because they're allowed and they have permission, and they take the opportunity to really lean into their strengths and to operate in them, and that allows them tremendous success. All right, I've only gotten to point 1. Point 2 is aligning your actions with your instincts. So when we're talking about aligning your actions, so what are your goals? I've heard a lot of people talk about you have to have a realistic goal, and then others talk about SMART goals, and then Bob Proctor talked about goals being things that you desire to achieve, but you have no idea how you're going to achieve it. There's no earthly way that where you are today could ever achieve that goal, but you have that goal. And the thing about aligning your actions with your instincts is also aligning them with the law of vibration. Putting yourself in the same vibration as the thing you desire will allow that thing to actually come into your, and allow the things that you need to achieve that goal come into your presence. So having goals that you have no earthly way of achieving is one of the best ways that you can engage your unique abilities, because now you have to like lean on your desire for achieving that goal. Napoleon Hill says that the desire is the starting point of all achievement. You have to have that white hot desire to achieve that goal, because then when you have that burning desire to achieve that goal, the things that you need for that goal to be achieved will start attracting itself to you. That's the law of vibration. You're tuning into the frequency of the thing that you desire most to come to you. And then once you're aligning with that, then you're taking actions based on your unique abilities to solve the problems to get you to the goal. So it's a step-by-step process, but it doesn't have to be a incremental step. It could be leap steps. Especially when you get in alignment with the law of vibration, it can be leaps you're taking instead of just stair stepping. Hope that makes sense to you. So realistic goals are just things that you can see. You can see it. You don't have to really use desire for that. You can see, and you create a plan and you go through it. I'm talking about those big, audacious goals that you have no idea how you're achieving it. Those are the things that when you align the law of vibration and you align your unique abilities and you align your instincts to those things, that is when you can achieve even more than you thought that you could, especially when you take the time and use the resources and the tools to break through any limiting beliefs, any bad habits, wrong paradigms, blind spots that you may have. And then the final thing is unlocking your performance. Like really unlocking your ability to perform at a higher level. When you really understand your strengths and you start practicing operating in your strengths, you unlock a whole different side of yourself. Because it's one thing to unconsciously operate in your strengths, because that's what you're doing anyway. You're unconsciously operating in your strengths. It's a completely different animal when you purposely act in your strengths. When you start to purpose doing the thing that brings you the greatest result the fastest. When you start purposing doing those things, then you are able to leapfrog even more into your results. So activating your thoughts into results, it's about first understanding what those thoughts are that could be holding you back. What are those things either you're saying to yourself, you're hearing people say about you, either about you or about a situation, the situation? Oh, that can't be done. Oh, nobody's ever done that before. Oh, what makes you think you could do that? Understanding, well, why not? Why not me? It's not been done, but that doesn't mean that it can't be done. Anyone who's ever achieved anything great in this life, it had never been done before. The Wright brothers, plane was never flown before. No one had ever climbed Mount Everest before it was done. Roger Bannister, nobody had broken the what is this, the 2-minute mile? 2-minute mile, 5-minute mile, 2-minute mile. But Roger Bannister, look him up. Nobody had ever broken certain records before they were broken. And before they were broken, everybody believed it couldn't be done. Everybody believed it couldn't be done, except the person that broke it. So even if it's a situation, if everyone is saying it can't be done, it's never been done, nobody's ever done it before, it just takes someone with a big enough dream, big enough desire to say, I'm going to be the one. So where are you seeing limitations? Are you limiting yourself? Is society limiting you? Is there a consciousness that is believing the wrong thing? Is there a paradigm of a belief system that is universal around something that you're trying to break through? You know, what is the thing that is in the way? So that's the first thing. What's the thing that's in the way? Whether it's you, your thoughts, or society's thoughts. You got to break through that first. You got to be strong enough, tenacious enough, determined enough, have a big enough desire to break through that thing first. Then, when you understand your unique abilities and you've taken a Kolbe assessment, or even if it's not specifically a Kolbe assessment, when you start bringing certain subconscious gifts and talents and traits into your consciousness, and you start activating those and operating in them on a very conscious level, in a very conscious way, and you're connecting to them, then you're able to achieve things a lot faster for yourself. And then the third thing in this is operating on the same frequency, using the law of vibration as the thing that you are desiring. Operating on that frequency, understanding what the frequency is, and then putting yourself in that vibrational frequency. And then the last thing that we talked about is aligning your instincts, your actions with your instincts, and aligning them to the goals. And however big the goal is that you've determined will determine how much alignment you need and how much of the other steps that you need to engage in order to achieve those goals. Sorry, the last thing was amplifying your performance, which is, again, now you want to consciously engage your strengths in doing the thing that you need to do. Consciously engage those strengths. In Kolbe, we measure 4 basic strengths. It is your fact finder, which is how you gather and share information. Your follow through, which is how your brain looks at patterns, systems, processes, design. Your quick start, which is all about risk and uncertainty. And I throw change in there too. And your implementer, which is a noun, not a verb, implementor, which is how you deal with space and tangibles, tangible things, physical, tangible things. And so how you solve problems is in alignment with one of those action modes. And we have 4, each one of us have strengths in all 4 of those action modes in one of 3 zones. So we talked about the 4 action modes. There are 3 zones. 1 to 3 where you prevent problems, 4 to 6 where you accommodate solutions, and then 7 to 10 where you initiate your problem solving. So we have a strength in each one of those action modes in each one of the zones. And when we combine those strengths, it becomes a very powerful way of operating. So if you want to know more about that, connect with me, alicia360.com, and we can help you figure out more about how your strengths operate and get you activating your thoughts into results. So with that, I will say to be bold and be brave, and every day do one thing to step out with audacious confidence. And I will see you next time on another episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence here on Win Win Women TV. All right, everybody. See you.